Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Today we have the 1936 Caterpillar Model 22. I picked this tractor up at auction about a week ago, and I have no idea how long it's been since it's ran. Judging by everything I've seen so far, I think it's been a while. So the goal of this episode is to try to assess engine condition, see if we have much of a chance of making it make noise again. There we go. We can see a little dark over here. So things I've done up to this point, I began with checking the low point drains on the transmission and on both final drives. Pulled several quarts of water out of them. For my metric fans out there, a quart is pretty close to 1 liter, so to give you an idea. So we drained all the old gear oil out, refilled all 3 compartments with new. I then worked my way up to the engine, cracked the plug at the bottom of the oil pan. Thankfully, no water at all came out of that, but there was a lot of old thick oil. Drained all that old stuff out and refilled the engine with new oil as well. Checked the radiator. I could not see anything on top of the core, so pulled the drain plug from the bottom tank, and this is what came out. Yep, bleh. So I ran some clean water through the core to flush things just a bit, and now I'm refilling with new antifreeze. It'll take about 5 gallons to fill it up. Now that we have all the fluids squared away, I want to start looking at engine. This tractor has not had much in the way of compression. Of course, it has sat for quite a while too. But you can pretty much roll it over without feeling anything for squeeze. So let's get the hood off of there, probably valve cover as well. Check for possible stuck valves. I think it's been a while since this one's been off. Oh boy. Oh, blue silicone. Somebody glued it on. Okay. There. That was a battle. Well, not as bad as I was expecting. There's a little bit of loose rust accumulation on each end of the cylinder head. That was from the inside of the valve cover. This cylinder head has been off at least once. The telltale is that orange painted nut. Back when this tractor was still all municipality orange, that one used to live outside of the valve cover at one point, so that's a telltale. Looking at the valves, I can tell you this exhaust valve back here is stuck open with all the play in that rocker. Let's roll this engine and watch the rest of them, see what happens. Well, it looks like all of these are going up and down except for exhaust valve number 8 back here. I already knew he was hanging a little bit low, but some of these other ones I still don't think are coming all the way up against their seats. I've been working this number 1 valve here exhaust quite a bit, and at first I couldn't get any feedback for it popping against its seat. I'm holding the rocker back right now, so the stem is not hitting the rocker, but listen. That click click, I finally got that valve clicking hard against its seat. When I first started working it, it wouldn't make any noise at all. And our lash is still a little bit wide, but I've tightened it up considerably. This intake, good. This intake, good. But this exhaust, if I hold the rocker back, see how you don't get any noise? So I think we have probably a dry or slightly rusted stem below the guide, and it's just holding it off of its seat. So I've been going around with the penetrating oil, get it in on the exposed stem, and then just Keep working them. Eventually, they'll come around. We're getting a little bit more noise now. Just got to keep working on down the line. Working number 8, sticky exhaust now. See how it kind of stuck down right there? There it kind of rebounded. It is freeing up, but about every third hit, see, like right now, it's still down quite a bit. And it's hard to push by hand. There, it took a good 10 minutes, but our valves are all free. This was sticky number 8. It's coming up really good against the seat now. Yeah, starting to feel compression now. That helped, but I think we can still do better. Let's take this cover off and get at the spark plugs. All right, spark plugs out. And let's dump some oil right on top of the pistons. Pretty sure those cylinder walls are awfully dry. And now we crank. Just circulate everything around. That sure made a difference in how well this turns over. All that oil in there, it's just zinging right over now. So I brought the spark whisperer up here. Senior,
yeah.
As long as we've got the plugs out, let's just check for spark. I don't have high hopes that the mag is sparky the way it is, but I'll have him up here watching. I'll go back and crank, and then you tell me what's going on. We've already flagged that I think these are suppression core spark plug wires, and it really should be solid core for these magnetos. They don't like those more modern ones, but these should be good enough for a test.
Okay, give her a crank.
All right, ready?
Ready. Yeah, I am not seeing anything at all.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna have to come off.
I'm sure it's got dirty points and everything else.
We even disconnected the grounding wire just to make sure that
Yep.
wasn't issues. So
Not a surprise.
yep.
Well, I've popped all the spark plugs back in, and I've made a new gasket for the valve cover. We are finished with our work up here, so we might as well get this sealed back up. I'll tighten this down, and then we'll probably move on to trying to make some spark. Just for kicks, though, I want to see if oil in those cylinders helped the compression at all. Yeah, I think we've got enough to go pop. Yeah, it's getting better. To get at the points on these Eisman CM4s, you have to remove this top cover. All right. Yeah, there's some corrosion coming off of those. Check the breaker point gap while we're at it. Should be 20 thousandths, and it is. So that's really good. Going a little bit deeper into the mag now. Didn't really plan on pulling the cap off, but there's the rotor. Doesn't look bad. Here's the cap. Good carbons in it. Nice spring. No signs of tracking, nice and clean. But the reason I pulled the cap, well, I decided to go ahead and get these suppression core plug wires off, and I'm patching together another set. All right, this is solid core, and don't judge me too hard. It's a Sunday afternoon and nobody's open that can sell me a new plug wire kit, so I'm using odds and ends from old kits. Just, you know, boots aren't even matching, some aren't even right. Don't judge me too hard here. We're just trying to make this thing pop today. So, but number 3 plug wire was not a good fit in that cap, and the new one wouldn't start in either. So I pulled the cap, had a good look, and I found the reason. There's a detached end from an old plug wire was stacked in there on top of top of the one that I took off. So wires will be a much better fit now. So we can get this cap put back on, and I'll continue routing my hodgepodge wire kit, and we'll go from there. All right, spark test number 2. I got Senior on the camera. I'll go around back and crank again.
Put some appropriate wires on here. Yeah, we're not seeing nothing.
Yeah, time to just pull the mag.
Yep, I think we have to go through that mag.
Yep, do it right.
Get it out where a guy can work on it.
Well, we tried the easy things anyway.
Yeah.
Let's get that throttle rod moved back a little bit. Maybe that'll help us. Yep, there we are. Floating coupling. And mag out. Okay, we still have to do something about the fan belt because this tractor used to have a hydraulic pump mounted here for that old V-plow blade. So it was belt driven. The old belt was much too long. I had to cut it off. I've loosened the fan shroud so we can hopefully get the belt between the fan and the core. There was no room with the fan shroud bolted up, but Caterpillar, the cat dealer, is the only place I could find a belt to fit this, and they still have them in stock. 6B1039 is the part number, so let's get this thrown on. All right, we've got it routed over the water pump pulley, and it's most of the way on to the crankshaft pulley, but it's a little bit tight to try to pull it by hand. I'm going to see if I can hand crank that the rest of the way on. Just babysitting it. All right, tension it up, we should be good. Cinch the lock bolt. And we're good. Now we'll get this temporary mocked up carburetor off. Look at getting the factory carburetor fitted. Made a new gasket that'll go on there. And here's the big zenith. So our throttle fork here has to line up with the peg right here. So I think it all needs to dance in about the same time. We're started on the studs. There we go. We're on the peg. Start the nut back here, and then it looks like I'll have to drop this forward end a little bit to fit this one. No, that doesn't fit. Yeah, it does. Okay, it fits. It's just very tight. Scared myself there for a second. Yep. It's going up just like it should. Wow, that's a monster carburetor for this little engine. Well, everybody, I think you can tell by my shadow that the sun is getting pretty low in the sky. So a little catch-22 wins this round. That's okay, I'm stubborn. That magneto just stopped us right in our tracks. Nevertheless, we got quite a bit of work done on this, a lot of maintenance, and corrected a lot of things to prepare for the first attempt at a startup. So I've been slowly recording this episode over the course of just about 2 weeks now. It's kind of been my rainy day type project between working on the RD6 outside. Although today turned out to be a pretty nice one toward the tail end. But yeah, I've got the magneto at home in the shop now. So the next rainy day, I'll be in there working on that. Don't know yet if I'm going to do an episode on it or not. But if it stays nice like this, I'll be back working on the big RD6 up at the main place. So either way, I hope to see y'all back for the next adventure. And I hope hoped. Come on. And I hope you enjoyed this one. So I'm going to quit while I'm still ahead. Thank you once again, everyone. See you back next time.